Welcome, all you amazing people, to our Aries full moon reading. The Aries full moon is going to be reaching its fullest on October 20th, around 8:56 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you can adjust for that, because that's going to be at the very climax of all the energies. This is an Aries full moon, so you got all that fiery energy of Aries being a fire sign, and then multiply that times the regular, just huge energy of a full moon, and you've got Shazam! You got all this energy coming in, a lot of energy. Of course, with a full moon and with all this amplification, emotions are also going to be amplified in a huge way. So just know whatever emotion that you're focusing on, and whatever emotion you choose during that time, you're going to feel it in a big way. But it's wonderful. I mean, you can feel the energy up to a week before the full moon, up to a week or so after the full moon. The more closer we get to the full moon, the more intense it is, the more dreams you're going to have, so you're going to feel all that. So if you feel out of sorts, just look up at the sky and go, the full moon. That is why my emotions are feeling very, expanded. What's great too is we had 2 full moons in a row in Aquarius in July and August, and then we just had a full moon in Pisces last month. So that had us all on this track of dreamy times, and then we followed that up with the energy of the Pisces full moon, which was about putting some practical plans to those dreams. So putting some plans around the steps towards that dream. And now we have all this blast of energy that we can use and focus it onto those steps. However, there's always a however, right? Also keep in mind that moving from Pisces to Aries, we're ending the cycle of the zodiac signs. We reached the end of Pisces and we're moving in to the beginning again with Aries. And so this might bring some new awareness, and it might cause you to desire to make revisions to the dream, make revisions to the plan. So you might alter your path a little bit, and that's totally okay. So if you feel that energy of wanting to switch things up, don't resist that, because it is part of this beautiful energy that will help you with all of that. Now, the last new moon we had in Aries was back on April 11th of this year, and that was a time of taking action on things. So when you look back around April 11th and see what was going on around that time, what kind of actions you did initiate, because now is also the time to reevaluate. You plant seeds and everything with the new moon. It grows into the harvest of the full moon. And then as you wane away from that to head back towards a new moon again, in that whole cycle of Aries new moon to Aries full moon, back to Aries new moon, it's like 6 months between a new moon and a full moon in the sign, and then back again. So, this moving away from the full moon will be a time where you're also going to be looking at what you're ready to let go of. So, there's all of this reevaluation type of energy coming with this full moon, because of the ending of that big cycle of Aries to Pisces and going back into Aries again, as well as the full moon. You're reaching the climax of the full moon and headed backward. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a reading for each sign, and the question we're kind of going to look at is, what can you reevaluate? But really, I really feel like with all this energy, it's where can you direct this lightning bolt of energy that's coming? What advice does Spirit and the Creator have for us on where we can direct it for the most beneficial experience and most in alignment of who we want to be and where we want to go? So we're going to go ahead and jump right into your reading right now. All right, all my Aries, this is your reading for the full moon in Aries, which means everything I just talked about around the Aries energy being combined with the full moon energy, you because this is your element, this is your sign, this is your playground, this is your, where you live and eat and breathe. You are just going to feel this energy even more so. So if you feel like you're on fire and electricity, just know, all this abundant energy that you have, you can really focus it in and do a lot in your life during this period around the full moon. We're going to be looking at like the week before the full moon and 2 weeks after the full moon, because that's when you're going to be feeling a lot of that energy. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start off by pulling a card here from these Spirit of the Animals Oracle. And we're just going to get, first of all, just what the Creator wants you to know around, a general theme of where you can direct this energy. Just have like this flash in my brain of like, a Frankenstein movie where they have that big lightning rod and it just brings life to whatever you want it to, right? It's alive! It's alive! All right. So, Creator, what do you want our Aries to know about where can they focus this amazing lightning bolt? Okay, whoa, okay. They're like, nope, not those. It's just very hard to do these. Let me try it this way. I even have big hands, but these are big cards, so let's see. This might work a little better. So all that energy, right? Okay. I feel like it's this one right here. And you've got the heron, which is patience. Beautiful bird. It says, create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. So that is great. Yeah, so what's the message? With all that energy coming in? Balance, patience, don't explode. But I love that it also says, step confidently towards your purpose. So, with all that energy, I mean, you're getting like 3 times, 4 times what everyone else is getting from this moon, full moon. So, with all that energy coming in, with you even balancing it, it's still twice as much movement. It's still twice as much activity as the other signs, because, when you cut the 4 times in half, you're still getting 2 times as much as everyone else. So it's beautiful movement. It's beautiful patience. It's like, okay, you just have all this energy and you want, like, I can do all 10 things. It's like, no, do one at a time. Don't go, start all these projects, focus in on one step, and then the very next step, and then the very next step, and then the very next step. You don't have to, speed through it, enjoy it fully. Just pour all that energy into one thing, and then that'll get done. And these steps will be fast steps for you, but focus on one at a time. And let's see what else this heron brings you. Yeah, because this is the energy of this card is patience, like it said, grace, introspection, watchfulness, being wary, looking for your capital T truths. You're the supreme hunter, courage, magnificence, and feelings. And the herons live in 2 worlds at the same time. Their feet are planted in the watery world of intuition, and their head is in the sky of the mind. They stand for long hours staring into the water and their own reflection. So introspection helps heron people know themselves and understand others. They need to be careful to not let self-absorption turn into self-criticism. The heron is usually solitary and loves the peace and quiet of isolation. They can be very happy alone. Their shyness is not weakness, but self-preservation. So if you are a heron person, you are intuitive, thoughtful, graceful, and authentic. You are a natural philosopher and ponder the deep meanings of existence. You are aware and watchful, and these traits keep you safe. So focusing on your goals assures all your needs will be met. So heron people know how to wait for opportunities to arrive, and their patience is a virtue. So those with heron as a totem have an elegant manner that is their natural way of being. Heron people know how to look within to find answers that can lead them to their dreams. So if heron glides into your world, take some quiet time and self-reflection and ask the wise heron to help you know yourself, your strengths, and the path to your purpose. So I really like that. So it's very balanced, and it's important for you to, with all that energy, really, it's like getting out into nature or getting away from all the noise and all the hustle and bustle. Because if you have all this noise going on, you have a lot of these supposed to's and shoulds and need to's that you're investing your energy into, which may feel urgent, but I'm really feeling this guidance for you to look internal to make sure you're aware of what purpose you want, and again, this is a big reevaluation time from Pisces going into Aries as well. So reevaluating your dreams, and then you won't focus on the urgent, you'll focus on the important. And so that energy, even though you're going to have tons of it, it's like, do you want to, spend half of that energy on things that really don't matter for your dream, or do you want to double down on that energy towards your dream? And so that's what I really feel with that. It does have some questions or comments that you can ponder during this 3-week period. It mentions a suggestion: don't let your introspection turn into self-criticism. So yeah, definitely when you're doing that internal reflection, don't let it be about judgment or where you should be or whatever. Look at your heart and where you want to be, right? This says, don't let your frustration with others' inadequacies swamp your joy of living. Yeah, and I can understand, especially with all that energy, you're wanting to do a whole bunch of stuff, and other people are just sitting there like a bump on a log, and you're like, come on! So have patience. Other people are at different places in their journeys, right? And it says, have you forgotten your need for solitude and quiet? And I know with Aries, that can be difficult because you are very much this fiery personality, and you love, kind of sitting around a fire with other people and having that interaction. But it's really important, especially during this 3-week period, that you take significant amount of time alone, away to calm yourself, get away from all that noise, all those expectations in your head, and really look at your inner self. And then it says, take some time alone to find balance. So, yep, definitely it's about balance. Yeah. And you're used to that. You're used to dealing with a lot of fiery energy anyway. But this is a time where it can even be on the edge of being too much for even you. So definitely making sure you're taking that time to calm yourself, whatever that is for yourself. If it's meditation or a hot bath or going for a walk or a run or, some sort of exercise. I think I already said getting out into nature, just away from all the distractions, whatever, you know what it is. Even some people like painting or writing or something helps them get away into a different world out of this perceived world of all the chaos. It helps you come to this nice place. All right, we're going to pull some cards to get some clarification for this too. I'm going to pull first from this Naked Heart Tarot, and we're just going to see what the Creator wants you to know. What else about around this full moon period? And what we're going to do, what I like doing around these full moon and new moon readings is just get an idea of like the week before the actual full moon hits, the week after the full moon, and then 2 weeks after the full moon before we go and start the new moon kind of section there. So for the week before the full moon, what do you want our Aries to know? Okay. And for the week after the full moon, okay. I tell you, this energy is flying in these cards. And then the second week after the full moon. Okay, I feel like you have 2 here. Okay, and then we're also going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown Tarot. and for each of the weeks as well. So for the week before, okay, yeah, I feel like it's that one there. And then the week after, okay, got 3 for that one. My goodness. And then for the final week. Okay. All right. All right, so for the week before the full moon, yeah, you have the 7 of Pentacles. I laugh because this is all about patience, which is what we were just talking about. No! So the week before, with all that energy coming in, especially it's fresh, you're starting to feel that rise exponentially within you. So it's like patience, grasshopper, because this is like you're seeing the fruit, you're seeing, that things are growing on the tree, but they're not ripe yet. And so you're like, come on, I want to go to the next step. It's like, just keep growing, keep on focusing on the current step. And it's funny because when I was talking about that, and I was actually thinking of this exact card, because there's 2 messages that usually come with this card for me, which is, a journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step, and then you focus on the very next step. You don't focus on the next 998 steps as well. You just start with your first step, looking to the second step, and you just do the very next thing, and you just fully engage in that task in the moment. And then when that's done, then you go on to the next one, and you can start to look ahead for the next step. But that's it, right? Also, there's this saying that always comes to mind. It's like a Zen or, kind of a Confucius or whoever had said it. I'm not sure. I should look into it so I could quote it. But it's basically chop wood, carry water, which is about do the daily task, do the momentary task, focus on what it is that needs to be done next. So that is so perfect for that. Yeah, because then you have here, I was looking at it wrong. I was like, there's not an 11. It's because it's the 9. But this is the 9 of Swords, which does, this is called like the Nightmare card or the Insomnia card. And, your swords are all your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And when you have all this stuff you think you should be doing and need to be doing, kind of like I talked about in the beginning, where all this urgent stuff that has anxiety around it because it's fear-based. It's like you are taught that there's these things that should be done and are supposed to be done in order for you to be lovable and acceptable. And if you don't do them, shame, you're going to get rejected and people are going to look down on you and blah, blah, blah. All that fear of rejection. And so what's great about this is that, we already talked about it, and it's about not investing your energy in those things. And it's like you're almost to the point of exhaustion. You're ready. You're almost ready to start giving all these things up, because when you start to let go of your expectations, how that happens is, when our fears outweigh the feeling of us, being like restricted and under this oppressive conditional love laws, all those expectations, when our fear outweighs the expectations, then we stay in it. But when the feeling of being not ourselves and being suppressed outweighs the fears, then that's when we take action and we're like, I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm cutting these rolls, at their ankles, cutting them down. And so this is like you're almost there, because the 10 of Swords, which is what comes, of course, after the 9 of Swords, is the exhaustion card. It's the endings and new beginnings. It's like you really have had enough. And a lot of the cards will show some like face down in the sand, and they're not dead, but they've got all the 10 swords stuck in their back, and they're looking away from us in the card toward the sunrise, which is about there's hope, and I'm letting these things go. And then new beginning is coming because you're finally ready to let this, go. And what I love for you is that because of all this energy you have, you don't even have to go to that 10th level. If it is, it's like a quick, haha, you're ready. You're so almost ready that I really feel like when you move into this energy that you're just going to like take this quick step and move on to the new beginning and just start cutting away all these things, especially with this introspection and finding out what you really want to do, who you really want to be, where you really want to, invest your energy into. When you're evaluating all this urgent stuff, engage it to the important that you find within you, then you're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. I'm not focusing on that. I'm not focusing on that. I'm not focusing on that. I'm not focused on that. And you just start moving things off your to-do list because you realize this is just activity and it's not getting me anywhere towards my dream. It's just wasted energy. So I love this week before. You just have this wonderful awareness that's coming. Yeah, because here you go, 9 of Pentacles. So this is about being alone, spending some time alone, but it's also about you're finding self-sufficiency and you're finding this self-wholeness through this as well, because Pentacles are about your abundance, your wealth, just how you're feeling your needs are being met, your physical world, and you're starting to see that, what? I don't have to worry about all that other stuff. I'm finding this abundance within myself. So I really love that this card showed up for you so quickly after this, because you 7 of Pentacles, then 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. So you did this quick leap from doing the work and all that to feeling the wholeness and the completeness. So you don't even have to do a whole lot of external work. It's like the week before the full moon is coming to this culmination, and the week after you just move into this whole feeling, which has a lot to do with this alone time that you're spending understanding what's truly important to you, because when you do away with a lot of these external expectations, all these expectations on what needs to be done in order for you to be whole, it keeps you in this hole, keeps you in this cycle of lack, feeling that it's never enough, because our expectations and all this game that our ego plays with us keeps our satisfaction in the future, saying, when da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da is all done, then you can be happy and feel whole and complete and feel abundant. And it keeps us in the future, and then we're never happy because it's always moving that carrot forward. But when you do this internal work and really find out what your dreams are and you're taking steps toward it, you realize that when you are enjoying each of the steps, that you're enjoying the moment and you're happy in the moment, because you're not waiting for this X to happen in order for you to be happy. You're being happy with A, and then you're happy with B, and then you're happy with C, and you're happy with D in each step as you go along. You're having that. And then anything that is done because you're finding this wholeness within you, you're not worried about the external things. You're not defining yourself by those external things. You're defining yourself by your internal journey. And then anything that happens on the outside isn't something trying to get you to an expectation. It actually is just above and beyond in its abundance. And so you just feel even more whole and complete in the outside world because of that. All right, let's take a look at these 3 here. Yeah, so you got the Wheel of Fortune, which of course means a switch in your fortune, and your internal fortune, external fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune has a beautiful story that comes with it, in that before you came down here as a soul, you met with the Creator and your support posse on the other side, who are your angels and your guides and your loved ones who are going to be with you in this lifetime, and all your ancestors, just this whole slew of beings of unconditional love and light. you meet with them all because they're the ones that are going to assist you in the invisible world to help things unfold. And then with all that in that meeting, you decide this is when you're going to enter the game, and this is when you're going to leave the game, and this is the avatar that you're going to come down as, and you look at what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are and what weapons you're going to bring, just like when you play any kind of those games where you choose an avatar. And then you also choose each and every event and circumstance that you want to experience in your life. And it's all these fated events of all these things that will happen and come. And that's like the fate part of our lives. But our little avatar, as it's going through each of these events and circumstances that are fated, it still has its free will and its power of choice. It determines what story it's going to apply to that event or that circumstance. And it also uses its power of choice and free will to determine what emotion it's going to feel. Is it going to choose an emotion of extreme unconditional love or of extreme fear or something in between? And so it goes through this journey. And so the message that comes with this is that everything in your life that comes your way happens for you. It doesn't happen to you. And so I love that, and I really feel like this is something that you're learning, with this internal search too, because this is a 10, which is an ending and a new beginning, which you had a 9 here. So you do have this change in thoughts and beliefs and mindsets. When you change from that victim mode of life is happening to you, where you feel like you're on a drama train that's about to jump tracks and catch on fire as it bounces down a gorge. You move from that of happening to you to this happening for you, where it's like more like this smooth monorail ride where it can't jump the tracks, and it has its set, calm stopping points, throughout your life, and it's not out of control. It's fully in control. And then you feel that safety, you feel that wholeness, you feel that completeness. And you have the Queen of Cups with the Mother of Cups. And what's beautiful about this, so she's cups are your emotions, and your in this case, because she's also the divine feminine, it's extra understanding of emotions. She offers here this goblet, which is the chalice or the Holy Grail, and what's within that is the living waters. These are the waters that quench you. All these expectations and everything. Our whole search of this life is an understanding of love and who we are. And we experience all this conditional love in the world, but she brings this unconditional love from above. And she's also very much like the High Priestess, where she's able to use her intuition and connect to the higher levels, to connect to all that posse we were talking about of support. You can see all these orbs that are around here. It's like the universe, but it's orbs, all these beings that you can connect with. I love that you have this feather, like you have the heron here, and you have this here too, where you can fly and move to the higher perspective, connect to the higher realms. You got the moon here too, which is what the High Priestess does. So it's really about getting, when we're talking about, again, getting alone and spending time with yourself to connect to the unseen in your unconscious, your subconscious, and then the higher realms, connecting with that too. Yeah, you've got birds. I read about flamingos, like they used to be able to fly way back, and when they evolved, because everyone was flying at one point, they decided to head down and be grounded in the land because there was less birds down there all the time. And so they had this very interesting evolution where they were designed to fly, and they got grounded and decided to stay on the ground. But I really feel like it's time to fly again. And another, okay, yeah, so now you have the Father. So you have the Mother and the Father of Cups, which is beautiful. So definitely getting all this beautiful connection to the other side. And I actually, usually call the Father of Cups or the King of Cups. It was what it's normally in the other tarot. It's like the Christ love. It's that definitely that unconditional, eternal love from the Creator of all things. Really this connection here, I'm loving it because this is definitely the week after the full moon is when you're spending this quality time alone and really focusing on using that energy to connect to the higher realm. I look at fire, the fire element, the fire energy, which is what you are, which is usually the ones, we haven't seen that yet, which we really don't need it. You are it. And with all this moon, you're having tons of it. It's really about your spiritual energy as well. And so this is really a huge time where you are connecting at such a deep and high level. This week is just going to be, I highly encourage you to spend a lot of time to yourself, making sure you're taking time every day to yourself somehow, some way, and just really doing that connection to your higher self in the higher realm, and just really getting into knowing who you are. That's what this is all about here. And then the second week after the full moon, and you move from the 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. So this is beautiful because it's like this. This is when you feel self-sufficient and whole within yourself, and then it fills you up, and especially with all these cups being offered to you, it overflows out to the world. And so this is usually called like the legacy card, where this is like where it's benefiting you inside and out. And this is where it benefits everyone else. So everyone else around you, your friends, your family, your children, if you have children, and for generations to come. It's not like it's like this legacy that whatever you're doing is impacting and rolling out, that's going to just ripple through generations. And I also look at it, usually in a lot of the tarot, it has like a tree, which I relate to the family tree. And so there's this message also about what you do, and what you're able to do is to break chains and cycles from your ancestral line. So beliefs that have been passed down from generation to generation, abuses that have been, passed down from generation to generation, or addictions. And it can also be something like just some sort of ritual the family does, or some sort of mentality the family has. Sometimes I hear like, well, everyone in our family were police officers, or everyone were nurses, or everyone was in the family business, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you are the one that gets to break chains and break cycles for your generation. And not just in your family tree, but because of those other people you influence and interact with, you actually help them just by your living example, break chains and give them that courage to break their chains as well. Yeah. And here you go. So we're talking about addictions and about our shadow. The devil is just our shadow, so it's not anything to be afraid of, because we're not afraid of our shadow. Our shadow is our little hero, the piece of us, our ego that chose to be the one, volunteered to be the one to feel separated from our huge family on the other side of beings of unconditional love and light. It came here to allow us to have the experience, what it might feel like to be small, what it might feel like to be powerless and limited, and all these emotions, uncomfortable emotions of fear that we don't feel on the other side. So our shadow, is our little tour guide. I have a nickname for mine called Wolverine, because he's a little superhero. He was so brave in doing it here. He also can get upset very fast because he's in fight or flight. And so, we're aware of his skills, but we're also aware of his triggers, right? But what he brings is this beautiful awareness on what our addictions are, what our shadowy things are, what our blocks are in our life, all those beliefs and expectations and things that we can take a look at to release and to understand. And so, and they don't do it in a subtle way either. They will bring it in and they will have like 5 events happen in our life that all are related to the same thing that bring the message very clear. Most recently, I've had it where I had to do around, death, and because I had someone who lost a friend of mine whose husband passed away, another friend of mine, his father passed away, my mom's neighbor passed away, another friend of mine, a dear friend of hers, tried to end her life, and I had another friend who's someone very special in our life, ended their life, and it was all in the matter of like a week and a half. And when all that happens, and it was for all different reasons of how they passed, it wasn't like all from, any virus or anything. It was like all were all different reasons in different ways. And you're just like, oh my gosh, okay, I get this clear message. It's something I can look at. So just know that in this week, especially with all this energy and this inner reflection, they bring that to you. And I love that we talked about breaking chains. So I really feel like this really is zeroing in on the family type of beliefs, your childhood beliefs that have been passed down from generation to generation, and you're the one that is becoming aware of them. And just know, like this beautiful, powerful elephant, you have the strength and the ability to break those chains. Yep. Because here you are. You have the magician. You have the infinity symbol here, which is your infinite self. And this is your beautiful higher self that we were talking about connecting to. And you get to bring that energy down, and you have everything you need. So you have all 4 suits here. You've got the wands and the cups and the pentacles and the sword. You have all the ability and all the supply, all the tools you need for this here. So you definitely have the power, and whatever you focus on is what grows. So all that energy, really, this is like the energy you're feeling from this full moon is there's the lightning bolt. Where can you focus that attention? It's like, yep, this is where you can focus all of that, and you have the ability, and you're going to have this going forward. This isn't something that's in passing, because again, you always have an abundant amount of energy. You just have like an insane amount during this 3-week period. Yep, and you have the 4 of Pentacles. So this is definitely about, I'm going to move him over here, because this is about feeling solid in your outside world. It can also be kind of a caution not to think that you need what everyone else needs and need to seek what everybody else wants. You're finding what you want in this world. You understand that everything works together. And, again, I see this infinity symbol in the middle here, which is connecting to your infinite self for your definition of who you are, that inward wholeness and completeness. And I really feel that's what continues here, is you're just finding with this connection to this unconditional love that you have everything you need inside of you, and everything outside of you is extra. You just have this great amount of gratitude and thankfulness for what is, and you're not focusing your energy on things that don't matter. Like we said, the urgent things that don't matter, you're focusing on the important. And, we're definitely talking about wherever you focus, your energy is what grows. And so when you're focusing on gratitude and thankfulness, that's what grows in your life. Whereas before you might have been focusing on what's not in your life, and that expands that lack. You're on a microphone to the universe saying, lack, 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 and the universe is going, oh, another order of lack, please, another order of lack, order up. When you're like gratitude and thankfulness, then the universe is like, oh, they want more to be thankful for. Bring them more, bring them more, bring them more. And it's all areas of your life. So really love this moon for you. And of course, definitely a lot of amazing energy coming for you. So I'm going to leave it at that. And just know as you're going through this 3-week period around this Aries full moon that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. Have an amazing adventure, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care now.